third downs and touchdowns. We're going to look at our new free agent signing quarterback, Jacoby Brissett. So we'll have a look at draft position, a little bit about him, stats, and then we'll actually look at some film and have a look at what he does well and what we think he doesn't do well. So he was originally drafted in 2016 by the Patriots. He was predicted to go in late in the third round, early in the fourth, and he was taken in the third round at pick number 27, which is 91st overall, and was drafted from NC State or North Carolina State. When he was drafted to the Colts, they already had Brady and Garoppolo, and in 2017 they decided the room was too big and they traded Brissett. Now, after the trade on the McCourtney's, Devin and Jason McCourtney's Double Coverage podcast, Brissett had some words to say about the trade, and I'm quoting directly from what he said on the podcast, and he described the trade as this: "I think Bill did some shady shit. I think they traded me right before practice and still made me go out there and practice." Now, as Dolphins fans, that describes the Belichick that we all know and quite strongly dislike. Moving on, his best season for the Colts was 2019, and unfortunately when they signed Phillip Rivers from the Chargers, his stat count dropped to below 5%. So a quick look at just his pre-combine numbers, just for interest. 4.94 in the 40-yard dash is okay. Compared this to our other backup quarterback, Reed Sinnett, who we signed from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, this guy, Reed, is going to be the backup for the third-string quarterback, and I believe that we've brought in Jacoby to back up Tua. Now, this is the reason I think we brought him to back up Tua. So his best year was 2019 in terms of touchdowns, which he had 18 against 6 interceptions. But looking at these numbers, it's not the win-loss that stands out to me. The Colts went 7-9 in 2019. They finished third in the AFC South. But what stands out to me is the lack of passing yards, with the exception of the game against the Texans, in which they won 30-23. You can see they had 326 yards and 4 touchdowns. For that, he won the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. So what we're going to do now is have a look at some of the touchdowns, some of the interceptions, but also some of the rushing touchdowns as well. So let's get into film. So we're going to look at a scramble. I was actually looking for the interception he threw, but the scramble stands out to me. So this is Brissett. The reason why I'm highlighting it, because pass protection breaks down. He's got his feet set, about to have his feet set there. Pass protection breaks down. He's scrambling. Now this is his hot route. He's out. Nothing else open. He doesn't feel he can throw it. He's got enough awareness to know where his hot route is. That's just quarterback smartness, you know, and it's good for us. I think it's a really good sign. Okay, so here we are. We're on the goal line. Reverse pivot from Jacoby, rolls out. The running back's in the pattern, the tight end's in the pattern. We've got 2 receivers in the pattern, both quite tightly covered. Right now, the tight end's the only person who's open. I think Brissett's looking at him, holds everyone with a pump fake, and then that speed we mentioned earlier on takes him into the end zone. We've seen Tua roll out a reverse pivot, and roll out on the goal line. So this is just something else that I think we're going to look at doing on the Dolphins offense. Okay, so we've seen the rushing touchdown. Unfortunately, now let's look at the bad side of the game for Jacoby, and it's the INT. So he's going to aim. So this is it's still a spread formation, but the tight ends aligned. So rather than open, it would be. Actually, I've just noticed they've got an offset line, so I'm not sure what they'd call this, but it'd be left tight, for instance, to tell the tight end to align. So here we go, extra man in pass protection. Oh, were they just crafty? So let's just have a look there. So this is a tight end as well, so they've got 2 tight ends here. So this would be heavy left, and it's still, we've got no one in the backfield. So 1 Y, F, and X. Right now he's going to look at here. I believe this is Ebron. Ebron's not looking. 25 is wide open. You know, there is a window for this pass to be open, but the safety reads it. If anything, it should be a dart into the window. It should be a dart into the tight end when the window is open, and everyone should be looking. So not really great from either player there. So let's just look at it again in full speed. So this is the safety who influences the play. Not really held by this tight end because you can see it's covered. Really good coverage actually. Unfortunately, just not great from anyone there. Okay, so here we are, 4th and 2. The Colts on the goal line. So we're in trips type formation. A single receiver on the backside. The back's on the way out. So he's looking for the back. The back's going to be covered by the linebacker. The Y is covered here, so that's off. Middle of the field, Ebron's covered. So now he has to change sides. He's looking for one of his receivers to do something. Quite a good route here. When quarterbacks scramble, they normally tell the receivers to break out. So you can see all of the receivers now working. Well, not quite all of them, but all of the receivers across on the right side of the screen are going to start to work back. He's scrambling, avoids a tackle there. Good flick, good maneuverability. Now, he's under a lot of pressure here. He's got 2 defenders. This is what he sees. Tight coverage, tight coverage. This is what he's going to have to come back to. Receiver does a really good job of working back to him, creating separation, but it's a good throw on the run and a good catch. So let's just look at that again in full time. Checks to his left, scrambles, avoids a sack, still avoiding pressure. Good decision, good throw, good throw on the run. Okay, so here we are again. A good example of what Jacoby's going to bring to the team, I hope. 1st and 5 in the Jags red zone. I believe we're going to see not a read RPO, run pass option. I think we're going to see a good old-fashioned read option on the defensive end. And then it's going to be almost like a good old-fashioned rollout with play, with everyone in routes. So it's just well coached here. We're going to read this defensive end here. We've motioned the back in. Now this defensive end is going to make the play in the running back. So that's the read. If he had stayed and read the quarterback, then we would have given the ball off, and it would have been a run. As it is, we pull it. Now, this is the equivalent of a play action, I believe, because the ball would have been, we're not reading anyone. This was the defender we were reading here. So now it's pretty good coverage from the Jags. It's still a tight game. They're still fighting. Now, but he does what a good quarterback does. Can see that everyone's covered. He knows the pursuit is coming from the inside of the field. So rather than cutting up into this area of the field, he's extending the play and running for the touchdown. I think that's just a really smart football play. And you can almost see why the Dolphins said, okay, we're going to bring him in for 1 year and he's going to support us. So like what I see there. Okay, so it's 3rd and 6. You can see the number 49. Got to warn you up front that this DB mugs this receiver. I can't believe it's not pass interference. But I don't particularly like the throw either. We've got Ebron here, we've got receiver here. So we're in right tight, essentially. They only need look, this is the first down marker. We've got a receiver coming open across the middle of the field. Can't throw to Ebron because he's double covered. So, you know what? This is pretty tight coverage as well with the safety running across. The ball gets battered up, the safety catches it. I know the cornerback mugs the wide receiver, but I actually think it's just not a wise choice. So not a great decision there. And unfortunately, we've seen that a little bit from Tua this year too. So hopefully that will be the end of that.